Dzień dobry. Today is a very special day because it's the first time I'm actually speaking English on this channel. This channel was meant to be an English-speaking channel since the beginning, but I was coerced by my cousins into putting a vlog on it, and my cousins do not speak English, or at least not very fluently, so I could not have made that in English. However, I'm going back to the roots that I have intended for this channel, which is English and commentary, which is why my channel is named what it is named. It's really shit, J comments, don't give a fuck, don't know how to change it, won't change it in the near future. There is this person that I found, and I want to tell you the story of how I found them, because it was probably the worst day of my life so far. And a bit of background about me, because you don't know anything about me. I'm 17 years old, born in 2008. Yeah, time passes, I guess. And for many, many years, I have been absolutely obsessed with the Marvel Universe. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm going to give you shots of things in my room that would give that away. Right now, in the background, you can't see any. There are some books over there. There is trash and shit. And there is Frida Kahlo, my enclosure for my lizard. But you can't see any Marvel-related stuff. That's because it's all up here in front of me right now. And so usually when you're interested in something, you're going on TikTok or some other form of a platform, and your feed will be filled with the thing you're interested in. And so, logically, I saw a man talking about a Marvel character that I personally prefer to call Kid Arachnid and not Spider-Man, but recently, because of the film that came out in 2018, the character's been kind of rebranded into Spider-Man. Miles Morales, that is. You've probably guessed it already. And he was talking some nasty shit about Miles Morales. I remember it was a man that looked like he was very interested in comic. He also had the background with all of the posters and stuff like that in, right behind him. And he kind of, I'm not going to say it, but he kind of fit the part, if you know what I mean. Longer hair, kind of greasy, looks like he lives in a basement. Yeah, I admit, that's what my community is known for looking like. And I do not look like that, but that's okay, I'm still a Marvel nerd. And he was talking about Miles Morales specifically, in the context of someone, somewhere on Twitter, I believe, saying the quote, "Anyone can wear the mask," in context of Miles. And this man, clearly not educated in Marvel whatsoever. He might be a bigger DC person, honestly. From what I've seen on this channel, it's mostly DC. It's rarely ever anything about Marvel, but whatever. Yeah, not everyone can wear the mask. That's immediately what he goes into. And he also said a mean comment about Miles being black and that he needs to go back to the hood or something. And that caught me off guard, because what do you mean there is a man out there that claims to be a fan that also does not understand the concept of everyone can wear the mask? That's like an absolute basic of knowledge about Spider-Man. That's not something that someone made up that's woke or retarded. We're going to get back to why I use that word. That's something that Stan Lee said. He created Spider-Man so that anyone could wear the mask, so that everyone could relate. A bit of the screen will unfortunately be covered by the tablet. However, this is what I'm going to be watching this ridiculous man on. I'm trying not to use big words just yet, because there's something at the end of the video. Oh, actually, Spider-Man stickers. Just like, wait, I'm going to show you my actual case, like in full capacity. First of all, I drew a cobweb and some planes and shit. I'm a big travel person. Here are my Spider-Man only stickers. And then on the other side, I think there's like 3 or 4 Spider-Man stickers. Oh, it's actually 5, 6, 7. Damn, there's a lot. This is a little Spider-Man. This is a little Spider-Man. This is a bigger Spider-Man. This is a Spider-Man. Yeah, this is a little Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man. This was from a Spider-Man sticker packet. So is this and this. And so, oh, and this. It's a big part of my personality, if you couldn't tell yet. None of them are Miles Morales, so I might not be the best person to be speaking out about Miles Morales. But yeah, my Spider-Man is Peter. I mean, There is no one that's necessarily my Spider-Man. The closest one I'd go to is probably, what's her face? Sunset Spider? She's a young lesbian and Spider-Man. A Spider-Man adjacent character is what I like to use for this situation. But my Spider-Man close to my heart is Peter. But I also do like Miles, obviously. So we're going to speak about this today. This is unscripted entirely. And also, I've been experiencing terrible pains recently. So if I'm not making sense in what I'm saying, I don't know, I guess it's the fault of the pains. I love to just blame shit for my stupidity, but that's okay. It's alright, we all do. And we're going to start with a video that's called Comic Book Fans, in quotations, because he's got like a big thing about questioning the validity of someone's of someone being a fan. So, oh my god, I put something on accident, sorry. Which I've got my own opinions on this, and I can devaluate some people for their different Marvel takes. But he does it very aggressively, if you know what I mean. Comic book fans are idiots. And honestly, if you find this title offensive in any way, shape or form, first of all, I feel bad for you though. If you find that kind of stuff offensive, you must find a lot of things offensive. But secondly, click off right now, because this is going to get worse. If I remember correctly, because I've watched this about 2 times already, getting ready for this video, he, in the first 14 seconds of this video even going on, says the artist, which I already said in this video. I'm going to beep out when I say it, but I am not going to do it when he says it. Why? First of all, because I would never say it in a normal, like, situation. I think the only reason I've ever said it is I've got a friend, he's English, hi Chris, and we kind of joke around with the word sometimes. That's mean, I know, but I would never say it in public. I would never say it out on the internet. I would never say it to someone that I don't know, and I would never say it to someone in an aggressive way. And what this man is doing is basically essentially all of it. He's saying it on the internet to random people he doesn't know in a very aggressive way, like to degrade them. So let's put this on and see what the thing is about. I'm gonna have my one ear uncovered because I always do this. It's just like my thing. So let's go.
So the worst place to go if you're a fan of comic books, anime or manga is most definitely the internet. Places like Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit.
I mean, I want to say that in general, the worst place you can go, period, is the internet.
Take whatever you like and make it gay and retarded.
See, that's where it happened. It's 13 seconds actually. And to me, it's ridiculous. Because, yeah, the internet fandoms are toxic. There are many comments that I could, like, say about them. But that would never be one of them. That would definitely be not be the first one that comes to mind. Okay. Let him elaborate. Let him cook. He's gonna burn the food.
And for some reason, it just got 10 times worse. So this is just one of the...
Okay, so this is about DC. I'm sorry I'm posing it all the time, but I remember this. The first thing he brings up is actually about DC. I'm gonna show you, wait.
Insufferable posts I came across. Some random is trying to warn Scott Snyder, one of the best comic book writers of all time, about politics in his stories. And you see the picture.
So he did read the tweet of a person online saying, oh my god, some rando is trying to warn this artist about politics. And then what the actual rando that we are talking about said was, please stop sharing your political beliefs. They are starting to seep into your comics, and it's bad for the industry. Republicans buy sneakers too. Don't forget that they also read your comics, for now. So, okay, I guess that might be a normal thing to say. Like, if you feel offended by something that an artist talks about, I guess you can speak out about it. That's what the internet is for. However, it's ridiculous to compare it to Republicans buy sneakers too, because sneakers are not art, unfortunately. And writing comic books and creating a comic book universe is art. And art is in very, very many ways, just soaked with the artist's personal beliefs or just ideas, because they created. Art is something we create. And if I were told that I'm an actress, so yeah, one of these guys. If I were told that I should stop doing this and this and this while working on a project because it's got too much me in it, if I did that, that project will no longer be me in return, you know? It will no longer be my project. It's... Okay, so Scott Snyder, the writer, never heard of him. I'm sorry, I'm not a DC person, once again. Says, brother, I have behaved basically the same way on here since 2009. I'm open about my life and politics. I don't go at fans who disagree. I'm happy to have discussions in my DMs, which I do. For 15 years, you guys have warned me. Sales are going to drop. So he's like, you've always said this, sales never dropped, whatever. He's just saying like, shut the fuck up, or text me privately.
Sure, it's perfectly normal getting onto this absolute handicap Scott Snyder, saying that maybe you should leave politics out of your stories and more people will be interested in them. And obviously this guy had the time to respond back, because he isn't one of the best comic book writers of all time.
I feel like this comment is very funny, because if you are successful, that must imply that you will never reply to a tweet or a message calling you out? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, so that's ridiculous. Have you ever seen how much J.K. Rowling tweets and responds to tweets? And it's basically all her life now. In order to be successful, you do not have to sacrifice your entire personal life, and you do not have to sacrifice your presence in social media. Maybe he is good. I don't know. I don't know the man. I do not know Scott Snyder. I want him to touch up on the Marvel topics, but I still feel like leaving out parts of the video would be annoying to people. So
he's actually just some spastic who ruined Batman in every single way possible. And a lot of people already know that, except for the people on TikTok and Twitter. And even though Scott Snyder's annoying, getting angry at fans because they told him maybe keep politics out of your shitty comics.
Okay, wait, I've got this one. Scott Snyder is going to be the author of a later mentioned, because I gathered it from the pictures that he's putting, of the later mentioned comic that I said I'm not going to tell you about because it's insane. That's what they meant by don't put politics in your comic books? Okay, I'm going to spoil it for you. The comic is about Nazis and about how Nazis are not nice, basically. And so, damn. I thought it was going to be worse. I thought it was going to be like legitimately pushing politics into stuff, because not liking Nazis is not a political statement. It's something that I feel like everyone should be doing. It's something that is universally agreed upon as a common situation. Like, we all breathe, we all eat, we all kind of hate Nazis, at least a bit. Damn, okay. No, I thought it was like, I don't know, cows with pronouns and stuff like that they always argue about. That is insane.
This guy posting it is even worse, and a prime example of the disease that plagues the entire internet. Making up random statements like Scott Snyder is one of the best writers of the century. Nobody knows who Scott Snyder is, and
I don't remember if that person actually wrote that in the tweet, and I'm not going to go back to that because I don't care. Maybe they think so. And so what? I'm sorry, some people have terrible taste. And maybe this guy is, I say gay, maybe this guy is a terrible writer. I don't think he is, because I've seen many people excited over the Batman neo-Nazi comic. I've seen a lot of people say it's a good thing, and that is actually really nice. So maybe this guy is a bad writer. Some people have unpopular opinions, some people have terrible opinions, and you're free to judge their opinions, but you are not free to be saying nasty shit and calling people slurs. Okay, whatever. I mean, you technically are free. you probably live in a democracy. Also, I want to mention this because I haven't, but I really wanted to. Since I was planning this episode, since I watched this man's video for the first time, he has a Celtic accent. And it's hard to pinpoint whether it's like some type of Welsh, Scottish, Irish. I feel like it's closer to Irish. And it's just so ridiculous to me because all the people with a Celtic accent that I've ever encountered were the nicest people of all time. And I just can't seem to look at him in a normal way. It's like a complete dissonance of what I experienced in life and what I've seen before to this. So, quick backstory. So someone also like mentioned his accent, and someone wrote in the comments like Northern Irish, I'm guessing. And it's funny to me because I was born in Northern Ireland. I was not raised in Northern Ireland, but I was born in it and I visited the place and I know what people sound like over there. And yeah, maybe perchance, maybe he may actually be Northern Irish. Which is sad. Yeah, but I was specifically born in the Derry County, which has a very, specific accent to it. So it might be why I can't really differentiate. Okay, we're straining on from the topic.
If they do, they probably hate him because he never ever wrote a good comic. If you believe anything you hear on Twitter...
I'm sorry. I have to stop him every 3 seconds. I hate when he generalizes so much. When he's like, nobody knows this, nobody's read this, and we're going to hear this about 1,000 times in all of his videos, so you better get ready.
On Twitter, TikTok, or Reddit, you'll just be gaslit into believing absolute lies. And it's not just the disease of lying on the internet, it's also a disease of being a woke, insufferable prick. And I don't really get too much into politics, but what I will say is in the last...
Wait, I need to step over here. This man just called a bunch of people woke, insufferable pricks and has used the r slur towards them and the word gay in a not very nice connotation with people being stupid. And he then said, I don't get that much into politics. From what I've seen by a brief look at his channel, because I'm not trying to, poison myself with all that stuff that he's posting, but from what I can gather, he very much gets into politics. Every single, and I'm going to show you over here, every single fucking thumbnail of his has either a gay flag or like a communist symbol, which I'm not a communist. I'm against communism. I'm Polish. I'm normal. I'm against communism. Just so you know. But all that stuff, all that crappy woke people stuff on his thumbnails, and he dares to say that he doesn't get into politics. Wow. Maybe you don't get into politics in real life, but you definitely get into politics on the internet. And I feel like we all know the reason why he doesn't get into politics in real life. Because his views are stupid and he can't even support them. It's been a minute in the video. The video is 7 minutes long, but I might cut some of it out because I'm really yapping, but it's whatever.
Few days because some Muslim guy got elected, all of these retards are posting up that woke is back as if it ever left. And
it's so funny to me because this man is clearly does not live in the US and he's talking about some Muslim guy got elected. So first of all, I think Muslims might be the first or second biggest religious group on earth. So you've got to be more specific, buddy. But I think he means Zoran Mamdani. Which, why would you care? He didn't get elected like president or anything. Zoran Mamdani got elected mayor of New York City. What real effect does that have on you, fucker? Personally, I don't know much about Zoran's policies, mainly because I live in Europe, and probably so does this man. And I kind of do not give a crap who runs a city in America. A city, not even a state. Not even the country, a city in America. And I know New York City is a big city and it's like an important city, but the only people who this man is going to have an impact on are New Yorkers and maybe perchance other Americans. but definitely not the world. When we were talking about the election of a president for America, we were all kind of thinking, what will this do to Poland? How will Ukraine benefit? How will relationships with China change? Because it affects something. Zoran Mamdani being president of New York City does not affect shit outside of America. I swear to you, it does not. I mean, unless you want to get into very specific, like, I don't know, export from New York City or something, which, low-key ridiculous. It's like a very niche situation to be talking about here. Whatever, let's continue.
I'll never assign myself to left or right, because it's all one big game that is rigged, and if you're playing on either side, you need to wake up.
Oh my god, wait. I need to pretend like I haven't seen these before, because I have seen these before. I had to prepare myself for what type of cancer I was going to get after I walk out of this. But, damn. Saying all that stuff and then saying you do not identify with neither the right or the left is absolutely diabolical, brother. Damn. Okay. If you legitimately did not identify with either the right or the left, and not even like a centrist, just completely off charts, no alignment with either, you would have criticisms about the right. And you have no criticisms about the right, aside from what you're going to get to in like 5 seconds, aside from they're not fighting the woke strong enough. You're a right-winger, fucker. And I do not say that as an insult. I know many right-wingers. I'm friends with right-wingers. Right-wingers are watching this video right now. Siema kurwo, nyanya. He's my friend. He's a right-winger. And I kind of don't care that he is. Oh my god, wait. I need to take a breath for this one. Wait. He does not align himself with the right or the left, because it's all a rigged system that's going to kill you. I love when uneducated men online make a statement about, oh, the big system and stuff like that, and kind of, you know, making himself seem so intellectual, so smart. But then, first of all, I've had these thoughts when I was 7, so congratulations to you. And then also, you're not going to beat the big system by talking about the big bad system. It's they're telling us that we can't change shit because we live in a big bad system, but you will not change the system. Why the fuck are you talking about it like that? I guess some concepts are just too hard to grasp for people like him. I'm sorry. The concept of democracy, the concept of right and left, and the concept of a political system are too hard to grasp for this grown-ass adult, probably in his mother's basement. Which, that's a nice basement if that is a basement. I will give him that. He's got a great background over here. The only great thing that's in the video.
Playing on either side, you need to wake up. The people on the right getting angry at all of this crap 24/7 aren't really doing the best job. You're not fighting back against anything.
No, it's ridiculous to me because he says the people on the right that are getting mad about the work stuff are not doing a good job because they're not actually doing anything. Fuck are you doing? And you can guess, you can like go into the way of like, oh, people get rage baited, he gets money. But the thing is, I personally know he doesn't, because he swore in the first 14 seconds of the video, and he not only swore, but he said the fucking arse-slur. So he is doing this completely voluntarily with no money. I mean, he has patrons, maybe that's what's up, but what? YouTube is not paying him to do all this shit. This is ridiculous to me. He's doing exactly what in the same sentence he claims to hate. So people getting mad about woke stuff 24/7 is what he claims to hate, and now he's doing it. It's insane.
The people on the left are even more gay and retarded, saying stupid shit like woke is back. So that's one of the main things I'm trying.
You know what? It's funny to me when he raises a point that might actually make a bit of sense. So right-wingers are fighting for their beliefs in a very stupid way. They're getting mad all the time. It's not working. And then he finishes it off by, and left-wingers are even more gay and retarded. Because he cannot find a different point to attack us. Us. I'm saying as if I was a left-winger. I'm not. I'm a centrist. You know, he cannot find a different point to attack these people from than just being mean to them and disrespectful to them. He's gonna explain why he thinks that is, but let's go.
But shit like woke is back.
Okay, so what makes someone gay and retarded is when he or she... Why can't you just use they? Why did I say he immediately? When they use the phrase woke is back. Oh my god, that's so cool. So do you get like a gay marriage and disability benefits as a package when you say woke is back? I want to get married to my wife. Woke is back, woke is back, woke is back. Where's my disability money? Where is my official diagnosis of the illness of retardation? I'm sorry.
So that's one of the main things I'm trying to get across with this. And also, if you ever wanted to know my political belief, that is it right there. It's not left or right, or Republican, Democrat, woke, unwoke. It's mainly just a disgust towards basically everything that is gay and
I'm sorry, this sentence makes me weed every time. I have watched this video, especially this part of it, about 3 times to have a consensus, because I want to have something this man doesn't. Consensus and sense in my speech. So this man says, if you want to know my political beliefs, it's just hating everything that's gay and retarded. Those are not political beliefs. Those are emotions, my brother. Those are emotions you have towards a thing that you probably need to go to therapy for. Because if you hate something so much, sometimes you have to go to therapy for it, whatever. Just like, let me backtrack. Those are not political beliefs. Political beliefs are like my own. I've got my own beliefs on immigration. I've got my own beliefs on education. I've got a bunch of beliefs on education. If you care about that, I can make a video talking about my own politics. But I'm a dirty centrist. People don't like me for that, so maybe not. I've got my opinions about abortion. I've got my opinions about euthanasia. I've got my opinions about the medical system, about the financial kind of economic system of the country, which is most of my beliefs are just like I hate communism because I was raised in a post-communist country, and trust me, it's not gonna take a girl with pink hair to convince me that my ancestors dying of fucking hunger in the USSR was a good thing. Like, you're never gonna convince me on that. But I've got my own beliefs, and those beliefs are a bit like are like a big chunk of all the things that I would want in a perfect society, country, whatever. And then there is this tiny piece that I call social politics, which a lot of the things I said was actually social politics. Abortion is social politics. Technically, it's crazy that abortion is considered social politics and not health politics, but whatever. The social politics I have is people are equal to one another. Don't be racist. Or, like, don't be prejudiced, basically, in any way, shape, or form. And, like, don't own humans and, slavery. Like, it's such a small chunk of a person's politics that it just kills me when someone pretends like the entirety of their politics is just their opinion on the social stuff. Because you're not having a conversation with a real person. You have a conversation with someone that's never been around actually intellectual people that know stuff about running a country or a society. Oh my god, wait. So wait, no opinions on taxes, on what they should look like. No opinions on immigration, of like, yeah, anything. No opinions on abortion. No opinions on, like, social, welfare, no opinions on any of that. On investments in architecture, on education, you've got no opinions on that. The only politics you've got is that you hate things that are gay and retarded. Also, how do you define gay and retarded? Because if you want to debase a country entirely off of a constitution with 2 amendments, first of all, it is forbidden for anything to be gay, and also is forbidden for anything to be retarded. How do you define that? If you don't like the way a building looks, is it going to be considered retarded and you can't invest in it? And you're like, president can't make that happen? Who decides? Do you decide? Oh my god, this is ridiculous, right?
Retarded. And the harsh truth is, everyone and everything is like that nowadays. And once again, this is one of many tweets that is just plain
Okay, so the tweet says, I remember that when this tweet was made, there was a comment saying something like, that's why Absolute is better. It's not woke. The account was deleted. I wonder what the user is thinking now. And basically, Absolute is, I think in context, is Absolute Batman. It's like a new thing, and whatever. So what we've got in this tweet are 3 pictures of 3 scenes in the comic, and one of them is a man with a baseball bat covered in barbed wire, so an armed man that probably wants to harm someone, having his hiling arm broken by Absolute Batman, like literally just broken the other way around, you know, like his arm is basically being made into a flamingo leg, you know. His joints are going the other way. And then there is a scene of what I think might be like a little sexual situation between 2 women. The blonde-haired woman is looking at the black-haired woman, the black woman, longingly. You know, there's bodies and there's a cigarette being put out, which makes me note that this is not targeted towards children. So if he's going to make it's making the children gay argument, which I don't think he is actually in this video, but if he was going to, I don't think children's media is allowed to have cigarettes anymore. Did they make that a law? I think they did. So this is not marketed towards children at all. And the last one is like a clump of heads, of colourful heads that are probably meant to resemble some sort of trauma in a character's life, which is what I'm gathering from the text. And the text says, why can't you just be normal? Why can't you just be my son? So we are now thinking that this probably has to be a trans character, right? Let's get into what he has to say about that.
Great job proving why you shouldn't be reading Marvel or DC comics. At least not the new ones, because he's just compiled everything wrong with DC right now. You have the big...
Oh yeah, that's the comic I was talking about at the beginning, by the way. And he only says I already covered it, and he does not say anything in the sense of like why it's bad. He doesn't even mention it. He's just like, go and check out the video I made, as if that video is not terrible either. We're going to talk about that video.
Big Down syndrome Absolute Batman, which I already covered why this is so idiotic. And also yet another
Okay, now we can see the entirety of both of those shots, and I can tell you that the one on the right is not marketed towards children. It cannot be. I swear. It's an adult comic scene, and there are 2 adults that probably had a bit of a fun time. What's the issue, man? I know, the issue is the fact that you do not like gay people in media because you feel like it's forced. But at the end of this video, you're going to be arguing that it's okay for gay people to be working on your favorite type of music, or your favorite comics, or your favorite, I think it was a movie that he was talking about actually. So what's the issue if they're in it? Yeah, I don't see it. And then about the heads, that actually interests me quite a lot, because it looks like there is a person on the ground kind of being tormented by these beings. And we're going to assume it's a trans woman, just out of context, but I do not know who this person is, because it says, why can't you just be my son? So we're going to assume it's a trans girl. And she is like devastated. She's genuinely just crying on that floor. I mean, she's got her hands like this. Seems like she's crying. I just had a shit ton of footage fucking die on me, and I have to do it all over again. She's also on fire. Like there's fire around her. Those might be hallucinations. It's cool. It feels like something I could maybe engage in, but probably not in a superhero comic. I just think it kind of cheapens the plot when they do put a shit ton of like LGBT experience in particular. Because when talking about straight people, or when talking about just a regular old person, you're not going to get that much life experience, you know? It's mostly going to be superhero stuff. So I would probably enjoy this type of a story, maybe not in a superhero comic.
Shit story that is gay. Now this guy could be over exaggerating, but basically he sums it up for you that everybody at Marvel right now...
Okay, I'm sorry, I look so tired because this is the second time I'm explaining this, because my footage got deleted. Autistic Tony Stark, Marshall She-Hulk, non-binary Hawkeye, all-female X-Men, Ultimate Universe, More like peak universe, someone says. And then he just goes out to it that this is terrible. I don't know anything about Autistic Tony Stark. I've never heard it. I don't know. Might look it up later. Kind of scared. Marsha Lee's She-Hulk is just so stupid to be bothered by. What? How are you upset by someone being from another country? Are the Marshall Islands a country? I think they are. Are they? Jesus, I'm terrible. How are you upset by someone having a different nationality? There are so many characters in the Marvel, both cinematic and comic universe, that come from different countries. Two fastest examples I can give you is Black Widow and her sister. One of them is Russian, one of them is Ukrainian. But I guess as long as they're white people, it's okay, right? It's just a person born in a country. And you're crying about it. So funny to me. I fucking love that, okay. And next we've got non-binary Hawkeye, and I want to mention this is not Clint. They've not made Hawkeye non-binary. They wrote a new character, basically. Which happens. Because time moves on. Oh my god. This is crazy to me, that this man is upset by... I mean, I guess non-binary is something you can kind of understand it, because there are pricks out there. But how can you be upset by, first of all, someone being from another country, and last but not least, by women? That's very heterosexual of you, man who keeps saying that being gay is bad. That you're upset by seeing women. No, he's upset by seeing women in power and women who are fighting because it's unrealistic or not feminine or something. But it's an all-female X-Men group, which also I don't think is actually all-female. I think the thing in the background is like meant to be a robot and it's kind of meant to be a man. I don't know if that counts. But also the entire series is not focused solely on all women. I've checked it out. Most of the groups that we've had in Marvel were mostly male and then like one girl. That's what happened in the Avengers. Does it have to be like a super straight line in between half and half? I think they were all male groups as well. I'm pretty sure the Brotherhood of Mutants is all male, but I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. But brother, and there've also been all female groups before. This is not new. Brides of Set. Have you heard about those? Ranting for Vengeance, little boy. You haven't. You might be a fake fan if that's it. It's been around. It's not the 18th century. Women do stuff. Women are in Marvel.
You that everybody at Marvel right now is either non-binary, autistic, or black. And you could be asking yourself, then what's the solution to all of this garbage that plagues the internet? And I think the best way to fight this...
The solution to garbage that plagues the internet is deleting the channel ranting for vengeance. Just kidding.
Is either to mock it or just ignore it. Because if you're a fan of real Marvel and DC, then you shouldn't have any time for these people. Because
okay, so who the fuck legitimizes whether or not Marvel is real or DC is real? Is that you? Is it you who does that? You an executive? Fuck are you doing in your mom's basement then? Go be an executive at Marvel and DC at the same fucking time.
99% of people on TikTok and Twitter who talk about comics are not real comic book fans. And the same goes for anime and manga.
I do not care. Okay, can I skip a while? He's just talking about how some fans are not legitimate fans. Then there's a sequence of him just being completely media illiterate, saying that is someone making a tweet about an actor who voiced Batman being gay in real life is like for some reason taken away of this man's actual excellence, and this person also called him one of the most iconic Batman actors of all time, so it's definitely not taken away from that. And then he talks about how the X-Men is like politicized, and it also takes away from the fact that it's a good thing. And I kind of give it the example of, okay, if I said that, I mean, I can put it on for you, but it's just stupid. It's just garbage.
Nobody who grew up watching Batman the Animated Series cared about Kevin Conroy's sexuality in real life. And just because in real life the dude is gay, that doesn't mean Batman is gay. And it immediately takes away your status as a fan of Batman.
Who are you to take away statuses? It's crazy.
And comics and any of these characters when you're not even focusing.
They did focus. They said he was the most iconic Batman of all time in their opinion. Don't you think that's acknowledgement? Okay, fuck off.
On the fact that he's Batman, but instead what he does in real life. People try to make every single X-Men comic that was ever made about politics, taking away from the fact that
nobody... Okay, so this is what I kind of imagined. If someone is looking for political connotations in the X-Men, they are not doing it at the cost of the X-Men being good. They are doing it because they enjoy the X-Men, and they are looking into it. And why do they enjoy the X-Men? Because the X-Men are good. It's like I said, I have an example for this. If I said that there are topics of friendship in Spider-Man comics, they're the ones I know the most about. Okay, shut the fuck up. I'm a very stereotypical person. Because there are. Peter Parker has a best friend. He makes friends along the way. There's friendship stuff going on. There's loyalty stuff going on. There's family stuff going on. Aunt May. If I said that, okay, me saying it has those themes, me saying it's good. Look, they can go together. They don't need to crash. They can go together. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. Me saying something has a theme of something does not make me forget that it's also a work of art. It's so tough to even try and think like him for a second, because he says all they're focusing on is the politicized. Maybe it's your fucking algorithm because you like hating on woke people, so you watch a lot of their content and their content shows up.
all you care about is the politics and which character was gay and black.
When he does the thing where he like literally puts black people and gay people on the same shelf, because I'm gay, but I do understand that sometimes you can be raised in like a conservative family, you can be raised in a religious family, and you can have a bit of like still, you know, it can be kind of icky about the idea of being gay, even though I think it's terrible and you shouldn't be doing that. I understand where it comes from, but I genuinely do not understand what barn you had to be raised in to have issues with characters having a different skin color than you. You know that Marvel and DC is supposed to mirror our universe. So they are going to have things that happen in our universe. Gay people as well. But mostly diversity in how we look. Because we all look fucking different. Okay, so he's talking about himself. We're going to skip that because I do not give a fuck. Because apparently his name is taken from like a band where a guy was gay. And then, okay, this one is also really stupid because it's just a stupid tweet that he's commenting on. And on his feelings on this one, I will agree. I agree on his feelings, I do not agree on the wording. The tweet says, quote, "I just love Miles, bro, the legacy character. No other character has had as significant an impact," this person can't write, "on pop culture. He is my nephew Spider-Man." And so, debunked. Like, no, he's not the character that has had the significant impact on pop culture. But it just might be that you're a bit stupid and uneducated when you say that. But the way this man words his hatred towards the tweeter is so like, I would genuinely tell him to go to therapy. Because someone said something stupid like that. And I would have been in the comments like, fuck are you saying, bro? Just like, skull emojis, you know? I would not react the way this man does. Watch.
Guy here, I don't know how you can spew this much handicapped trash, but he managed to somehow. I just love Miles Morales, bro. No other character has had as a significant impact on pop culture. Who on planet Earth believes this spasticated shit? I'll tell you who. People on Twitter and TikTok who are fake fans, who don't read comics, don't give a crap about proper storytelling or fan.
See, he's like going off like he knows everything about the person who wrote this. I personally don't think it's a fake fan issue. I think it's just like, you're not down to earth issue. Like, what do you mean? This Marvel kid is the character. If all characters ever created, that's had the biggest impact. It's just not true, you know? But okay, now he's talking about people not wanting to read old comics. And honestly, I don't want to speak on this for the third time because I'm recording this for the third time, but I will. People have short attention spans nowadays, and the kids that want to get into Marvel, coming back to the kids topic because it's a whole deal. People that want to get into Marvel are young nowadays, and if they want to get into the old stuff, it's going to be hard for them because they've got short attention spans because they're different than you and me when Marvel was our thing. Oh my god.
I ain't reading all that.
Now there's too many of those types of videos on TikTok to count, and every single one shows you somebody who is utterly dense.
I wouldn't say utterly dense, but okay.
So you're the biggest comic book nerd of all time.
Also, nobody ever said that. The person who posted the video is just like me when it comes to reading old comics. He didn't say me, the greatest, biggest fan of Marvel of all time when it comes to reading old comics. No.
But when it comes to reading an original Batman comic, you can read a couple of sentences. These are the same people who talk about...
Ooh, I said Marvel, and the comic they were showing was DC. I wasn't looking. I'm sorry.
Sentences. These are the same people who talk about Frank Miller's Batman Year One and complain about how small the writing is. Don't read it then. Go back to the hood or being a gay communist. You're complaining...
Go back to the hood or being a gay communist. Because that's what, you know, that's what makes a person, right? If they don't want to spend a lot of time reading something that they can't focus on because they've got short attention spans because of the internet and ADHD epidemic, they are from the hood and a gay communist. And or a gay communist at the same time from the hood. A gay communist from the hood. That's what they are.
About reading the real Batman, and you'd rather read something where Batman's crying or beating up white people.
Okay, this one I am genuinely excited to tell you about because it's about the comic that I mentioned at the beginning, and I'll give a brief explanation. So he says, when Batman is crying or beating up white people, he means this. This is where Batman is crying, which I do not mean that a comic book cannot show a hero cry, but he's clearly in the rain. This guy's just such an idiot. This man is clearly standing in the rain with his face down from the point of view of the person who's like drawing him, you know? And the rain is falling down his cheeks. And there are fucking thunders in the background. This man is stupid. And beating up white people does not actually mean just beating up people for being white. Where Batman is actively fighting, wrestling actually, because apparently the author of it was a big wrestling fan. It's pretty cool from what I saw. Nazis. People in a town who were physically hurting, stealing and doing crazy shit to immigrants, and one of those is the earlier mentioned man with the bat, whom he breaks the hand off, the hand that he was heiling with. It's insane. It's insane that he boils it down to beating up white people, because I don't think he kills anyone, because I'm pretty sure, you know, he's still got that no-kill thing. It was a shock to me, because I'm a Marvel fan, and I don't know if anyone has a no-kill thing in Marvel, but there is a lot of killing. I'm sorry, I'm just being so brief at the end of here, because I can't deal with this man anymore. And I was going to comment on the other video as well, in the same video. I would not have done that, but it's a good thing that I mentioned what the other video is about, because it's even worse, and I urge you to look at this, because it's mental. It's this one. It's this video.
And if you can't handle the text in older comics and you want them to be redrawn because you're not a fan of the art, then you're not a fan of comics in general.
Not true. If you don't like a certain comic because you don't like the art, or you don't like it because it's got text that's really boring and too hard for you to handle, I'm not saying that I think so. I'm not a DC fan at all. That doesn't mean you don't like comics in general. You just like a different type of comics. You don't have to like everything. It's like, oh, I like fruit. Wait, do you eat bananas? No, bananas specifically I do not like. You're not actually an enjoyer of fruit. No, bananas specifically, I don't know, too yellow for me. I love strawberries. I love everything else. But that one thing I do not like, and that doesn't make me less of a fruit enjoyer.
It's woke garbage. The internet is filled with fake fans, tourists, and gaslighting about comics, manga, and anime.
Sure.
And I can only say it so many times, but the solution to all of this is to read the classic comics and manga.
You're not the ultimate speaker of the human race, you know. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean there aren't people out there that do. I've mentioned this point before. It speaks to the younger generation. Me and you, we do not have a say no longer anymore. And it's okay, because it was made for younger generations. I'm not trying to tell you to grow up, because I still enjoy Marvel. I'm still a Marvel fan. It's my comfort universe. I love it. But kind of grow up, actually.
This woke garbage. The internet is filled with fake fans, tourists, and gaslighting about comics, manga, and anime. And I can only say it so many times, but the solution to all of this is to read the classic comics and manga. Support people who actually have respect for the art form. Stay the hell away from the LGBTQ handicaps.
Okay, I love it. I love how he just keeps using a variation of these words like it makes sense. And also, only read the classics. Okay, you're gonna run out of the classics at some point. I'm not forcing you to read the new shit. I don't read the new shit. But it's like, maybe some people want to, and just get off their backs about it.
And for me, the final step in rising above all of this trash is to realise that it's not left versus right. It's not woke versus anti-woke. It's about retarded assholes versus the real fans. And if you got a problem with that, go complain to your boyfriend.
Okay, I'm a lesbian, so he actually just called me straight on accident. Okay, love that he's got this amount of patrons. They have to be very miserable. No, I want to comment on the last thing he said. Like, it's not about left or right or work on unwork. It's about whatever he said and real fans. And to me, it's like, why is he using the words work and unwork and right and left when he talks about comics? That's not something we think of every day when we talk about comics, man. I'm sorry, but you're the only one that sees politics everywhere. I just like to talk about them, but not necessarily in the context of comics. Not the entire human race revolves around comics. I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to phrase some things right now. I'm so tired of this man already. So, the conclusions I've made is it is absolutely okay to just base all of the things you want to say on calling people slurs and calling people gay and calling people stupid. And that's okay. And that should be enough. And this is the peak of media illiteracy and the absolute peak of how today's social media is going down into a dopamine circle. Because this man, if he's not rage baiting on purpose, then he's doing something like rage baiting. Like, he's just saying his actual crazy beliefs and kind of reaction farming, you know. And I'm the victim of the reaction farming because I'm out here reacting, right? But I feel like sometimes commentary is needed in situations like that, so that some other maybe young people in the world who are interested in Marvel, even in DC, even though I'm not a DC person, can see that this is not what the fandom is like, and this is not what people are like. And I also feel like I just need to, as a Marvel person, defend what I stand for in the context of him doing this, because he is technically he is a comic nerd, but also he is doing things that are just complete opposites of what comic nerds do. He's bashing the comics constantly, and I know you can have some opinions that you don't like some things. I was personally never an X-Men person. I was personally not that much of a Fantastic Four person. And I know people have opinions on that, and they might claim that I'm not, you know, a legitimate fan. But the thing is, opinions are opinions, and calling people slurs and doing all that stuff and not backing your opinions at all with your own thoughts, with your own it's just brain rot. And this is what the premise of the channel was meant to be since the beginning, to kind of save people from the brain rot, to talk about what's brain rotted, why is it rotting our brains, What's it doing to us? I don't know if this video made any sense to you, but just in case, just to summarize, this man has very weird takes, cannot back them up, which is why I do not enjoy. Because it doesn't feel like a conversation. It doesn't feel like he's got takes that he can back up. I can reply with my own takes, with my own backing up. I can kind of challenge his beliefs. I can't at all. Because he doesn't actually have beliefs. Those are just right-wing grifter ideas that were planted into his head that he cannot back up. My little Marvel fan heart bleeds when he says all that stuff about Marvel. I could not find a clip where he says that thing about anyone can wear the mask. But that's where my heart bled, especially because this universe is more than just people fighting each other, which is most of it. But it's a safe space for a bunch of people who feel different, who feel like they maybe want to be the one wearing the mask, but they don't feel like they can in their own lives. Or maybe people who just, I don't know, wish that the world is like that, wish that there are superheroes to save them, which there are not. People who like good storytelling. There is a bunch of things that comes together into being a Marvel fan, and it's not just being an insufferable Reddit basement motherfucker who will judge everyone based on if they've read everything ever. And I did not address the punk thing going on over here. But if you guys have any feelings about, you know, maybe you're punk, maybe you know what's up. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? My top favourite moments were Batman crying when he was not crying at all. The punk thing, which I did not address whatsoever. Him saying that you can't be a fan of comics at all if you don't like comics that have a lot of text in them. And I don't know, every time he said someone's gay and retarded, an angel lost its wings. Or gained, I'm not sure. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did not. So at least maybe you did. I smiled a lot throughout this video, but it was like smiling through pain, you know? Like I could not bear it. So at least maybe you had a laugh, but I don't know if there's a lot to laugh about over here. And at least maybe you enjoyed my yapping. And if you did, definitely let me know, because I plan to do this more often. Maybe not exactly with this creator, because it would literally exhaust me. But with anything else, honestly, that you want to talk about. And if you want to talk about Marvel some more, I could give you maybe like a story of my of my Marvel life, my Marvel fanness. Oh my god. Yeah. I hope it was good. It's definitely not good to me.